Similar to living organisms, religions are born in history, and they gradually develop into living traditions and affect the lives of their followers. Belief systems began in certain places within the given conditions of culture and geography. Various organized religions have their set of symbols as they continue to influence the lives of their believers all over the world. Based from its fundamental structure, religions continually developed into a complicated system filled with rites and practices that made recruitment of its followers necessary. There are also other religions that faced demise, as in the case of Zoroastrianism that once originated in South Asia but is now only restricted in India, Iran, and Central Asia. They may also give impetus to establish new movements within religious groups, such as in the case of Buddhism, that may be viewed as a reaction to the overly ritualistic beliefs and exclusivity in the nature of Hinduism. They may also contribute to the foundation of other religions, such as those borrowed themes of Christianity from Judaism and of Islam from both Christianity and Judaism. This lesson will deal with the interconnectedness of geography, culture, and religions. As we all know, the existence of humankind for so long a time has resulted in the establishment of religion and belief system. It is certain that many religions may have been undocumented in the past. Others may have gradually expired. The table shows some important dates in the history of the establishment of several world religions. The prophet and patriarch Abraham is considered the common origin of the three monotheistic religions, namely Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, which account for more than half of the world's total population at present. As such, these organized religions are collectively known as Abrahamic religions. The Jewish people regard Abraham as the forebears of the Israelites through his descendants Isaac and Jacob. The Muslims considered Abraham's son Ishmael as the ancestor of the Arabs. The Christians view Abraham as father in faith, as narrated in the Bible, and the ancestor of Jesus Christ. Notable religious personalities trace their origin in Abraham's sons from different wives through their descendants. The importance of Abraham in these three religions lies in the fact that the patriarch appears as an elemental figure for a monotheistic belief system and a paragon of extreme devotion. Derived from a common source, it is but natural the three monotheistic religions share some commonalities in their basic tenets. For one, they all venerate one supreme being. The ancient Hebrews called their god Elohim, Adonai, or Yahweh. Present-day Judaism uses the names Lord and God. For the Muslims, they call their god as Allah. In addition, prophets play major roles in these religions. Judaism has 48 prophets and 7 prophetesses. Early prophets include Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Aaron, and Joshua, to name a few. For the Muslims, they believe that Muhammad is a final prophet or the seal of the prophets. Prior to their establishment as an organized religion, the role of divine revelation or intervention is associated among their progenitors. For instance, God instructed Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac at Mount Moriah. God presented the Ten Commandments to Moses at Mount Sinai. God sacrificed his son Jesus Christ through crucifixion as plan to salvation. God commanded Muhammad to establish a new religion at a cave in Mount Hira. Then and now, followers of the three Abrahamic religions are presented with a choice between good and evil. The Indian Mosaic. With its history dating back to at least 6,500 BCE, India is one of the world's oldest surviving civilizations. The many conquerors that came to India were gradually absorbed into the native Indian religions. With great movements of various people in the past came their customs, arts, languages, literature, beliefs, and many more facets of their culture. The Harappan civilization, the Aryan influence, the local dynasties, and the Muslim conquest all had their fair share in building the intricate Indian mosaic. As a result, variety and complexity characterize Indian culture. Hinduism perfectly describes Indian diversity, with its assorted, diversified, and eclectic means of religious expressions that are quite clouded to outsiders. It has no definite founder, no one sacred book, and with innumerable of gods and goddesses that any Hindu can worship. Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma turned systematized as a religion that preached order and purpose to the cosmos and human life during the Vedic period. Throughout this period, universal order became tantamount with a stable society as manifested by the establishment of a centralized government and the integration of collective traditions into the lives of the Indians. Buddhism, on the other hand, focused its attention on the figure Buddha. He was not considered as a god, but a human being who happened to come across on how to eliminate sufferings in order to break free from the continuous and painful cycle of rebirth. Buddhist followers respect Buddha in the same way that adherents of other world religions worship their gods. The Mahayana sect of Buddhism differs from the Theravada school because of its rich ordering of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas which attain spiritual enlightenment. These beings are said to be eligible to enter nirvana but choose to impede his glorious path to guide others to the path of salvation. Siddhartha Gautama was born near the end of the 6th century BCE. His life is closely associated with the historical and religious development of Buddhism in India. Attaining new converts, Buddhism escalated far and wide from India to Sri Lanka and to Southeast Asia because of its mass appeal as compared to the exclusivity of Hindu beliefs. The religion was transported to China and gained much headway as it reached Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. Across the Himalayas, it reached the Tibetan lands. Presently, Buddhism has become more popular outside its place of origin, while Hinduism has remained concentrated in India throughout many centuries. The Chinese civilization is considered as one of the world's oldest, tracing back almost 4,000 years ago, even during the olden days. The Chinese had already aspired to institute and obtain good governance, taking its word from the great master Kung Fu Chu or Confucius. China embraces ideals and ethics as the Chinese advance meritocracy as a basis for government officials. Confucius is regarded as China's greatest philosopher and teacher who lived at the same time as Siddhartha Gautama of India. Confucian ideals geared in harmonizing human relations and serve as guide to social behavior. Providing a backdrop of traditional Chinese values, Chinese dynasties used Confucian morals and political ideals that became influential among the Chinese people. The Confucian principles can be applied at the levels of individuals, community, and state. It is not surprising that Confucian values can be seen in the Chinese method of governance, the merit of one's education, and importance of order in the society. An ideal human society is at most concerned for the Confucian believers. On the other hand, mysteries thrive the birth and personal life of Lao Tzu or Lao Tzu, who may have written Tao Te Ching, Tao Te Ching, or the Book of the Way and its power around 6th century BCE. Other sources indicate that he lived during the period of the Warring States around 5th or 4th century BCE. Believed to be a contemporary Confucius, he once worked as a government archivist or record keeper at the time of Zhou dynasty, but soon left the service due to his frustration on corruption. Around 142 CE, Taoism began as an organized religion with the establishment of the Way of the Celestial Masters sect by Zhang Daoling during Han Dynasty. This group, along with the other later Taoist sects, devised intricate rituals, venerated heavenly beings, and wrote numerous religious texts. The writings of Taoism centers on the concept of Tao as a way or path, signifying appropriateness of one's behavior to lead other people. Similar with Taoism, the writings of Confucius frequently dwell upon the theme of the Tao understood as being the truth or way things ought to be done, concordant with a specific view to life, politics, and customs. This Confucian view is somehow close to the meaning of Tao in Taoism, which means a road, path, or way in which one does something. The Confucian Tao principally concerns human affairs, while the Taoist Tao means the way the universe works. Both Confucius and Lao Tzu were followers of Tao. Laws and social norms vary by region and localities. The study about geography of religion may reveal some fascinating truths why a certain country is predominated by one particular religion or why a specific region became homeland of great religions. West Asia is home of three great religions, namely Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, comprising the area bordered on the west by the fertile coast of the Mediterranean Sea and on the east by the arid deserts of Arabia. The history of these religions is closely linked with this region. Countries closest to the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea, north of the Arabian Sea, and south of Turkey, sometimes called the Levant, have experienced numerous religious cataclysms in their existence as nation-states. These include Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, Syria, and Palestine. Gaining the independence in 1944, Lebanon has undergone a protracted civil war from 1975 to 1990 between Christians and Muslims. During that time, while the Christians controlled wealth and power, majority of the Muslims felt discriminated. Around 250,000 lives were lost as a result of conflict. Presently, adherents of these three Abrahamic religions place high importance on the city of Jerusalem in Israel. Because of the numerous sites that are significant to their belief system, where more than 1,000 synagogues, more than 100 churches, and more than 70 mosques can be found. This has also been sacred for the Jews almost 3,000 years now, with the city being site of the first temple or King Solomon's temple and the second temple. The Western Wall, Wailing Wall, or Kotel, one of the four retaining walls that surrounded the Temple Mount, is the second holiest shrine of the Jews. Meanwhile, the city has been revered by the Christians for almost 2,000 years now. Important Christian sites include Mount Zion and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is the site of the Golgotha, or the place of crucifixion, and the empty tomb of Jesus Christ. Lastly, the city has been held sacred by the Muslims for almost 1,400 years now. For the Sunni Muslims, it is their holiest city. Located at the Temple Mount, the Islamic Dome of the Rock is the most recognizable structure in Jerusalem. It is believed that the rock is the spot from which Muhammad ascended to heaven. Likewise, the first and second temples is believed to lie beneath or near the shrine. Another Islamic structure at the Temple Mount is the Al-Aqsa Mosque, associated with the night journey undertaken by Muhammad. The subcontinent of South Asia covers an area of more than 1.5 million square miles, stretching from the Hindu Kush and Baluchi Hills on the west and the Great Himalayan mountain range on the north, to the Burmese Mountain on the east and the Indian Ocean on the south. More than 4,000 years ago, a civilization emerged along the Indus River that developed a unique and exceptional culture long before the dawn of Christian era. Invasions from people originating in Macedonia and Central Asia have added diversity to India's population and complexity to its culture. The sweltering heat is one major feature of India's ecological setting. It is no wonder that the Hindus believe in the sun or Surya and fire or Agni. Water also plays a major role in the Indian psyche, as evidenced by Hindus worshipping a god of water and celestial oceans named Varuna. The South Asian countries of India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan depend immensely on the rivers Indus, Ganga, Yamuna, and Brahmaputra. Crossing the Great Plains of India, the Ganga or Ganges is considered the holiest river for the Hindus. From its point of origin to its convergence with the ocean, many ancient pilgrimage sites and cities line up along the Ganga that included Haridwar, Prayag, Rishikesh, and Varanasi. Buddhists also considered Varanasi as an important religious site. During the olden days, there was once a deer park in Samath, which is now a residential area in Varanasi. In here, Siddhartha Gautama gave his first sermon about the principles of Buddhism. It is presently marked by the Dhammik Stupa shrine. The Buddha also met his first disciples at his place, which is now commemorated by the Chowkhandi Stupa monument. It is worth noting, however, that Buddhism is not widely held in India, but rather in neighboring countries located in South Asia, East Asia, and Southeast Asia. At the eastern end of the great Asian continent, one finds the cultural and political dominance of China. Stretching more than 5,000 kilometers across the Asian landmass, it is bordered by various bodies of water in the east and land borders in all directions. Chinese culture practically influenced all other countries at its outskirts, including Japan and Korea. The supremacy of China on the Eastern Front can be explained by the role of its environment and geography that includes vast alluvial plains, extensive fertile valleys, and a pleasant climate. The location of China proper in the valleys of two great bodies of water, the Huanghe and Yangtze, is quite favorable because of the support these streams provide to the Chinese people that made historic China the center of culture. Geographically speaking, the farming people of the river valley were isolated from the rest of Asia because of deserts and mountains. From these river valleys emerged small states now controlled by the first recorded dynasties in China, the Shang and the Zhou. World religions can be regarded along the lines of their exclusivity or non-exclusivity. Exclusive religions are oftentimes monotheistic, with Judaism, Christianity, and Islam as examples. Meanwhile, non-exclusive religions are often polytheistic in nature. Examples of non-exclusive religions are Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoism, and Shinto. Religion, culture, and society are closely related. Religion defines aspects of culture and society and distinguishes one group of people from another. Religion is also a source of identity and defines nationhood. It also influences social relations, ethics, philosophy, and governance.